This is Ben Television News Roundup, a compilation of major stories in the week ending. I'm Tunde Alabi. Thank you for being part of the program today. US President Barack Obama has said following the killing in Orlando, available information to the government has not suggested that the killer was directed by any terrorist organization. The president, however, said that he was influenced by extremist information, propaganda, and radicalized over the internet. Regretting the challenges in detecting and stopping such attacks, Mr. Obama said that the government will work with all relevant U.S. agencies and people to keep Americans safe.
We currently do not have any information to indicate that a foreign terrorist group directed the attack in Orlando. It is increasingly clear, however, that the killer took in extremist information and propaganda over the internet. He appears to have been an angry, disturbed, unstable young man who became radicalized. As we know all too well, terrorist groups like ISIL have called on people around the world and here in the United States to attack innocent civilians. Their propaganda, their videos, their postings are pervasive and more easily accessible than we want. This individual appears to have absorbed some of that, and during his killing spree, the shooter in Orlando pledged allegiance to ISIL. As I've said before, these lone actors or small cells of terrorists are very hard to detect and very hard to prevent. But across our government, at every level, federal, state, and local, military and civilian, we are doing everything in our power to stop these kinds of attacks. We work to succeed 100% of the time. An attacker, as we saw in Orlando, only has to succeed once. Our extraordinary personnel, our intelligence, our military, our homeland security, our law enforcement have prevented many attacks and saved many lives, and we can never thank them enough. But we are all sobered by the fact that despite the extraordinary hard work, something like Orlando can occur. In our meeting today, Director Comey updated us on the investigation in Orlando. Secretary Johnson reviewed the measures we continue to take on behalf of our homeland security. Secretary Carter and Chairman Dunford reviewed the military campaign against ISIL, and I want to thank Secretary Lew and his team here at Treasury for hosting us and for their tireless efforts to cut off the money that ISIL relies on to fund its terror network. At the outset, I want to reiterate our objective in this fight. Our mission is to destroy ISIL. Since I last updated the American people on our campaign 2 months ago, we've seen that this continues to be a difficult fight, but we are making significant progress. Over the past 2 months, I've authorized a series of steps to ratchet up our fight against ISIL. Additional U.S. personnel, including special forces in Syria to assist local forces battling ISIL there, additional advisors to work more closely with Iraqi security forces, and additional assets, including attack helicopters, and additional support for local forces in northern Iraq. Our aircraft continue to launch from the USS Harry Truman, now in the Mediterranean. Our B-52 bombers are hitting ISIL with precision strikes. Targets are being identified and hit even more quickly. So far, 13,000 airstrikes. So this campaign at this stage is firing on all cylinders. And as a result, ISIL is under more pressure than ever before. ISIL continues to lose key leaders. This includes Salman Abshahib, the senior military leader in Mosul, Abu Saab al-Sudani, who plotted external attacks, Shakir Wahib, ISIL's military leader in Iraq's Anbar province, and Mahir al-Bilawi, the top ISIL commander in Fallujah. So far, we've taken out more than 120 top ISIL leaders and commanders. And our message is clear. If you target America and our allies, you will not be safe. You will never be safe. ISIL continues to lose ground in Iraq. In the past 2 months, local forces in Iraq, with coalition support, have liberated the western town of ROUNDUP and have also pushed up the Euphrates River Valley, liberating the strategic town of Heat and breaking the ISIL siege of Haditha. Iraqi forces have surrounded Fallujah and begun to move into the city. Meanwhile, in the north, Iraqi forces continue to push up the Tigris River Valley, making gains around Makhmur, and now preparing to tighten the noose around ISIL in Mosul. All told, ISIL has now lost nearly half of the populated territory that it once controlled in Iraq, and it will lose more. ISIL continues to lose ground in Syria as well. Assisted by our Special Operations Forces, a coalition of local forces is now pressuring the key town of Manbij, which means the noose is tightening around ISIL in Raqqa as well. In short, our coalition continues to be on offense. ISIL is on defense, and it's now been a full year since ISIL has been able to mount a major successful offensive operation in either Syria or Iraq. As ISIL continues to lose territory, it also continues to lose the money that is its lifeblood. As a result of our strikes against its oil infrastructure and supply lines, we believe that we've cut ISIL's revenue from oil by millions of dollars per month. In destroying the storage sites where they keep their cash, we've deprived ISIL of many millions more.
Meanwhile, the British Prime Minister David Cameron and Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn have said terrorism is evil and must be defeated, just as they condemned the shooting in Orlando that resulted in the death of 49 people.
The whole House will join me in sending our profound sympathies to the family and friends of the 49 people who died in the horrific attack in Orlando on Sunday. This was an evil attack of terrorism and homophobic hatred, and we utterly condemn both of them. This attack, along with the callous murder of a French police couple on Monday, is a stark reminder of the challenge we face to defeat the poisonous ideology of Daesh, both online and on our streets. But I believe that together with our friends, with our allies and with our common values, we will prevail.
And join with the Prime Minister in his remarks about the terrible deaths in Orlando. On Monday, I joined a vigil of thousands of LGBT people in Soho in London to mourn the deaths of the 49. And also, I want to say, we say thank you to all those all over this country who attended vigils on Monday night to show their concern and their horror about it. Quite simply, we defeat such atrocities through our love and our solidarity, and we need to send that message out.
Also in Britain, people have also spoken out against the killing and expressing shock and solidarity.
Behaviour, no. In this society that we live in, where the Bible's been taken out of the schools in America, in England, so if they don't have any structure, if there's no foundation, then the young people, any generation actually, don't have anything to build on. They'll follow the media, they'll look at what's gone on in the media, and that's who they'll look to as a role model, rather than Jesus Christ, who is our Lord, who came from heaven to earth to show us the way. And without him, there's no hope. No, definitely not. England's not safe. Read your Bible and you'll see England is not safe. No, we're not immune to any of these things, because like America as well, we've taken the Bible out of schools. As Christians, we're supposed to be a Christian country. As Christians, our rights are always being suppressed by the government themselves. So they're the ones who instigate, they are the catalysts towards all of these things that are happening in the world, and it will come to England, of course. It's just a matter of time, basically. You only have to look at the young people today. They're lost, they're looking for direction, they're looking for hope, and they're looking in all the wrong places. They're looking to the teachers are doing their best, but the classrooms are too big, they can't help them. They're looking to their peers, and their peers are just lost as they are. Do I blame the person? Do I think that he's evil? I don't know. I do not know these people, so I'm not going to pass judgment on them. But all I will say is that without Jesus, we are doomed, and that's it, basically. Yeah.
In England, the only way you can have a God legally is if you have land or you have property of your own, a lot of it, that will warrant you having a gun. You have got to explain to the authorities why the reasons for you having a gun. whether it's fox hunting and things like that. Yes? So it goes hand in hand. If you don't have that, lots of properties and everything like that, there is no reason for you to have a gun.
Yeah.
Because if you are an ordinary citizen of this country, you don't expect it to have a gun,
so
unless you're a crook.
Okay, so are you trying to say it's unlikely to happen?
Yes, it is unlikely.
Unlikely to happen in the UK.
It's unlikely.
Because even no one has the right to a gun.
No one, unless you're an aristocrat, which have lots of land, things, and your concern is to shoot or cut down the foxes or anything, animals. Basically, that is it.
Okay, but he is actually seen as an extremist to some extent, and we have extremists everywhere. I don't know how they get possession of
Well, that's America, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's America. It's built on guns.
Okay.
And you get certain groups, regardless if they're extremists or what, can protect their area by having guns. It's built on guns.
Okay.
Basically. Well, it's like telling a aristocrat, say, you must get rid of guns, you know, you can't do fox hunting. Would he agree with you? No. So that's what I'm saying.
About the Orlando shooting, do you think it's something that can happen here in the UK?
I think it's something that can happen anywhere in the world at any time. We live in a time now where there are lone gunmen, lone wolves everywhere, and I think unfortunately there isn't really a whole lot you can do to predict or prevent them. We just have to, you know, it sounds like a cliche, you just have to try and spread the love, really, I think, and promote a respect for life and for diversity and differences. But it is a scary time. I think the US specifically has a problem with gun control, a huge problem. I think a lot of people agree with that. So it's easy, you know, thankfully in this country it's not easy. It's very difficult to get hold of a semi-automatic weapon and to inflict that kind of devastation. But someone will always find a way if that's what they want to do. So it's very tragic.
But what do you think about the person? Would you try to get into his head a little bit to think, what do you think he would have been thinking to just go out there and shoot people?
I think there's, you know, the word psychopath comes to mind. I think to be able to do that, you have absolutely no respect for life. So, yeah, questions need to be asked about this individual and how you get to that point. You know, these things are quite rare in the world, but every person tells a story about how they came to that point to inflict that kind of devastation, because, you know, it's very unique, it's very rare, but yeah, that's...
I mean, I think it's absolutely absurd how you can go and kill 50 people just because of what you believe and what you think. Even if you don't think it's right, I don't think you should go kill people. It's not in your hands to judge what other people are. It might be your religion that you don't believe in it, but at the end of the day we should all love each other, and it's not even about what's on the outside. You have to get to know someone first before you know who they are. So don't kill someone because you don't like them, or because you think you're gay, they're gay, and because, you know, they're too tall and too short. Like, it's just not nice, and whatever consequences happen to him, I truly believe he deserves it, because it's just not nice at all.
So do you think something like that can happen in the UK?
I don't think, yeah, but not as severely, because I feel like here the police respond faster than probably in Orlando, but we've got crazy people here, so yeah, possibly.
Still in Britain, ahead of the June 23rd referendum, voters have been expressing their concern about different messages from both sides of the campaigns on the referendum. In this interview by Osareme Okpalua, the people expressed their views on whose opinion will influence how they vote on 23rd.
Honestly, I say none of them, to be honest, but I'll say you can't possibly tell whether you get a job or not. It's like you're struggling to get places. Like me, I'm struggling to get a job, I'm struggling for doing other stuff. It is kind of hard. Leaving the EU is like, there is a lot of pressure, a lot of money involved, and a lot of jobless stuff. Still undecided because I don't know who to trust.
Okay.
But I can't tell you the truth about Boris Johnson. It's like he is everywhere. Everybody loves him. Well, some of them.
Okay.
And David Cameron, I'm not sure about him. Looks like Boris Johnson is just pulling David Cameron's strings. That's what it looks like to me.
Okay.
And to be honest, because I don't really personally watch the news.
Okay.
So I prefer to be out of the EU, but in terms of what they're saying, I can't actually say anything against them.
It's David Cameron because he says England should stay in EU, and I think it's better for all of us that England should stay in EU.
I am for staying in the EU because it benefits me, and I think I'm a very serious citizen. Even if I'm not British, I think I bring goods to this country. But if I was British born here, I think I would vote to leave.
Okay.
That's yeah. If I was a British citizenship born here, not a foreigner that came to live here, I think I would vote to leave.
Give us your opinion, please.
It's not because of immigrants, but because we have the example of other European countries that are not member of EU who are doing really, really well, and this is the main reason, like Switzerland.
Yeah.
And I think we would manage our way around to be able to keep all the benefits in this country at the same time dealing with the European market. Okay. That's what I think.
I trust Jeremy Corbyn because we need to stay in the EU. Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah, because it's gonna be very difficult for some of us anyway. Yeah.
I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anyone in the government. I just feel like we're all being made into like puppets on strings, and we're all being made to believe things that they're telling us, and that it's a load of rubbish basically. And I really do believe that we would be better off standing alone as a country, as things like the NHS, that kind of thing. It's not good anymore. It's just not how it used to be, and I think we would be better as a country with regards to illegal immigrants and, well, not just illegal, but just constantly letting people in all the time. Yeah.
I've been on the streets talking to people, finding out whose opinion they really trust between David Cameron, Boris Johnson, Sadiq Khan or Jeremy Corbyn. And they've all said it, they've aired their views, and they've all given us our opinions. So make sure you go out and vote. Osarimen Opalua reporting for Ben TV News.
Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce has said improving Nigeria-British bilateral trade relations hold the key for injecting funds for national development into Nigeria. This was disclosed at the annual Nigeria-British Chamber of Commerce event held at the Nigeria High Commission in London. Osarimen Opalua again has a report.
The Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce (NBCC) was established in 1977 to promote bilateral business and investment between Nigeria and Britain. In an annual event put together to tackle the issues facing importing and exporting, the president of the NBCC, Dapo Adeliga, spoke about the role the NBCC is playing in facilitating UK-Nigeria bilateral trade.
Trade missions are regular features of our chamber. We conduct about 2 to 3 every year, and we focus on a specific area of interest to Nigeria and the trade between Nigeria and Britain. For this current mission, we're a bit bullish. We think it's incumbent to promote our SME agricultural export opportunities, and sometime after launch or before launch, we will be launching our Nigerian Export Club or Export Nigeria Club, which the chairman of our Export and Trade Committee, Asha Joshua, will speak to later on in the day when we'll be formally inaugurated as a platform for engaging all the value chain in agriculture and export business between Nigeria and Britain. But more important is the fact that we also want to focus on some other areas that will not traditional areas of business. For example, real estate. Very many people would know that a lot of Nigerians are investing currently in the UK property market. as a hedge against the further slide of the naira against the pound. And with the volume of people here represented in the diaspora, we think great opportunity exists for increased opportunity in real estate investment, both into the UK and from the UK into Nigeria.
The event also focused on promoting import and export of agricultural produce and to educate exporters on what it takes to export goods from Nigeria to the UK.
We felt that Nigeria should diversify its economy and source of income from oil to other products. And these other products are what we call non-oil products. And basically, we are focusing on agric and agro-allied products. I drew attention the other time when I was talking to what used to happen in Nigeria before the advent of oil. We were depending 100% on export of agricultural products. Products like cocoa, like groundnut, like palm oil, like rubber, like all sorts of agricultural products. And Nigeria had enough. They had a robust account, foreign exchange account, that we could do anything. And even at that time, Nigeria was in the forefront. Everything that we did was first in Africa, and that was before the advent of oil. Oil came and we forgot about agricultural products. Now we have to go back and start exporting agricultural products to be able to boost the economy. Otherwise, we are hitting for the hole.
It's definitely sector focused. Today has included a session on exports from Nigeria. We know with the current foreign exchange issues in Nigeria, Nigeria needs to export more. We equally know that there are a lot of Nigerians in the diaspora in the UK who would like to get involved in importing, but there are challenges at a technical level in ensuring quality. We're part of the British Chambers of Commerce in the UK, whose remit is to create more trade internationally. We're at an interesting time in the UK. The Foreign Office of the UK has created a fund of money for Prosperity Agenda, which is not just to do with projects, it's to do with trade as well. So we hope to engage with the Foreign Office and with UK Trade and Investment to have a coordinated approach to assist those projects and opportunities which can add value in the short and medium term.
But the main focus for today was to actually address the issues of export. We know that with what's going on in the country currently in terms of the fall in oil price, we don't really have any other option but to get back into the trail of exporting. And the speakers, as you would have seen, they were just really addressing and emphasizing on the importance of exporting. And of course, we also heard by virtue of the issues that Nigerian exporters have been experiencing.
From the Nigerian House, Osarimen Opalua reporting for Ben TV News.
And this is all we have for you on this Roundup this week. Thank you for being part of the program. My name is Tunde Alabi. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye. Of our continued efforts to reach the African and other ethnic communities in the United Kingdom with greater impacts and create the platform to hear your silent and unheard views in this hugely growing community in the United Kingdom, our channel Ben TV presents to you another live current affairs television program. Our focus on the program is to review and discuss issues around the diaspora community in the UK. The program offers you that unrestricted voice on issues affecting you in the UK. Join us live every Monday at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Another business segment of Dialogue in Diaspora, 2 to 3 p.m. every Monday. But guess what? You can be part of the program. Just send us an email at bentelevisionuk@gmail.com. Dialogue in Diaspora, your voice, your opinion on our TV.